You don't have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
What is up, Raider Nation? How you doing? It is another Wednesday, which means it is cage match time. And let's do this right here. Welcome to the cage right there. And also remember, I know if you're still in the chats, the music you hear in the intro, not right now because this is from StreamYard. So we want to make sure we don't have any infringements, okay? Trying to be an infringement-free channel, okay? Here we go. Theme music from KDO produced the music, and we're going to use another one that he had produced a while back in what we're going to do later on. So, and also, how you doing, Asylum? Well, first of all, I am Oakland Raider Savage, and always the Mr. Jim Otto himself, Asylum. How are you doing, brother?
I am here. I am ready. Preseason's almost over. It's about time for some real football.
I know we got one more game left, and it doesn't even matter because our starters ain't gonna play. It's not even a Bay rival because we're in Vegas, and the Niners will probably play the starters like they did a couple years ago, where they ran it all over us, and we had like the fifth string guys in there. But whatever, it's how Niners do it. We want to make sure we get that preseason championship because they can't do it in the actual championship. I don't care if we haven't been in 20 years. I can still talk mess. That's what we do. But anyways, the most important thing is our shameless plug. Here we go.
All right, everyone, go to the YouTube channel, The Cage Match Show. Like, share, subscribe. Important thing is subscribe. Like it, give it the thumbs up, hit that bell so you know anytime that we drop a new video, you know when we do. If we get shut off for any reason, you can go to Facebook page, Oakland Raiders Savage or Asylum, and catch it if we have any hiccups because YouTube trying to shut us down for any reason. And after the show, go to WGG, put in your order. And then when you're ready to check out, after you check out all their cool stuff and different things and deals that they got, put in Cage Match, one word, and get 10% off your whole order.
And remember, when you think of wins, you think of dubs. And when you think of dubs, think of Dubby. Get that energy like Max Crosby. Like Asylum said, 10% off if you put into the discount code Cage Match, one word, your whole order. 10% off, and it's preseason for us too, okay? So for all stumbling, bumbling, and fumbling, hey, shouts out to Chris Berman. Oh, yeah. And also, remember, go to www.r and the number 4 lifer.com. Raider Nation for Lifer. Shouts out to the compa Fabian, who helped make some of our merch that we have, our koozies and our lanyards. And remember, I only wear hats from the man himself, Fabian. Go to his website, check out his catalog. He got a lot of great stuff. And get that stuff ready because the season's about to start. And you want to make sure that you are, is this old school? Threaded up? Is that old school? Threaded up? Get your threads in order, So
right,
get your threads right. RaiderNationForLifer.com. And remember, Raider Man, we're gonna get him on here soon. Raider Man, he's a busy man right now. Man's working like 18 jobs. Now that guy is always, if he's not working, he's on the radio. You hear him on the Raider Nation radio. You hear him a lot going on. He's making his phone calls because he's getting ready for the season. Go to RaiderMan19.com. The Raider Man from Richmond podcast will be back soon. Go on there. He has also merch, and he has the Oath merch. And if we can pull a Hail Mary miracle, we want to get him to the torch at least sometime this season. Can you imagine him? You hear him at the end of the intro doing the Raider Oath with Marquette King. Can you imagine him doing that in front of the torch in Allegiant Stadium in front of 65,000 people, getting the crowd fired up, bringing that Oakland mystique to the new Raider way, combining worlds, and at the end you say, I am a Raider fan. We want to get him to the torch because I know that'll fire everybody up. And so, shouts out to Raider Man. All right. Asylum. So, we had big news that came out on, I believe that was Sunday. So, yes, let's play the clip. It says special, but it means update. We do our own graphics here. So, trying to put the show together, there's a lot of moving turns. So, if I miss one, it is what it is. But, you understand it. Let's go.
This is CMN, a Cage Match News Special.
I'm going to go ahead and start off. Gardner Minshew is going to be the starting quarterback the 2024 season. Myself, Telesco, and Wk2 discussed it this morning. A lot of things went into it. It wasn't based off of last night. There's a lot of factors. So we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity to get off to a fast start, and that's what we're going with. We support him. Our team's behind it. Our staff's behind it. Our organization's behind it. Yeah, experience, the operation, the processing, just everything we saw in practice. Some of it showed up in the games. A lot of stuff we can get better at. I don't think anything here is a finished product, but based off of where we want to go in the first quarter of the season, we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity. Kind of like, being that older presence because he's played, a couple years in the league and he's been through some adversity. So that's.
Hey, Antonio, when you've talked about the quarterback situation going forward, you've referred to the first quarter of the season getting off to that quick start. What does that mean that there's I don't even know if the right phrase is a shorter leash, so to speak, or that you're just looking, why do you phrase it that way, I guess? Well,
I do everything in sections. I mean, you can look at the whole season, but we want to get off to a fast start, right? We got 2 games on the road, 2 at home. That's the first quarter of the season for us.
All right. You know what? When I was playing the video and it said a cage match news special, I'm going to roll with it because this is a special episode.
It is.
We got one of
Gabriel Jones for voicing over for our CMN news.
Exactly. And you have the video ready, right? The next video?
Yeah.
The intro? Okay, don't play it yet. I'll cue you in. So it is a special because we have someone special that's back for our season 2. We missed her, and you know who it is. And I see why there's so many people in the chats and in the views because they're waiting for her. You know who it is. Miss Peggy, play that footage. Let's go. And with the new background.
Everybody, I did. Did you guys have a nice summer?
It was okay. I mean, we didn't have Miss Peggy on the show. We missed you, but you're back. and we're ready because now we know that it's hard hitting right now because Miss Peggy's on. We're not going out there in shorts and helmets. We're going in straight pads. How you doing, Miss Peggy? How you doing?
Just fine, and I couldn't be more proud of our new head coach. What I call killing the quarterback controversy in the crib, because you know how Raider Nation just loves to have controversy. Start Aiden. No, start Gardner. No, start Aiden. If you start Aiden, he'll be yanked mid-season. You start Gardner. Forget that. Pierce has made his decision. And I know you guys appreciate a coach who's decisive.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether he's right or wrong right now, but let's go forward. You need time for the receivers, the O-line, to get chemistry, to get bonding going on between whoever your starting quarterback is. It's kind of late in the season, but you might as well get it started. Let's get that receiver chemistry going on. I hope Minshew finds his favorite guy. Could be Trey, right? Could be
Seems like it.
Kobe. Could be Devontae. But let's get that going. That's better for the team.
Yes. And
Definitely.
no, I was going to say, I don't know if it's just play calling, offense is just being very vanilla, just like the defense and everything. Everyone is a little nervous because they're like, well, no quarterback has really, I guess, pulled away in the race between the two, Minshew and O'Connell. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, if you're asking me, it didn't matter to me which one started. To me, we are building a brand new offense. I suggest that instead of focusing on these two guys, you need to focus on Getsy. The offensive coordinator's job, with only 2 years experience as OC, was to come in and throw out that trash playbook of McDaniels, right? And build a new offense. That's a heady job. And as an ex-teacher, I know when I got 2 students and 2 out of 2 of my students are failing the test, there's something wrong with the way I'm teaching or what I'm teaching. Mind you, the season hasn't started. And like you said, Reggie said, we have probably not seen the playbook. Yeah. But I want to give you food for thought. I want everybody, instead of focusing your attention on the quarterback, you need to pay attention to the new offensive system that is trying to be installed. And let's not just limit it to quarterback. The O-line got to learn something new, right? Running backs, receivers, tight ends. Every offensive player is playing in a brand new system constructed by a guy who, quite frankly, I don't know what his chops are.
Well, and then you add you also add a couple of rookies into that mix with the Brock Bowers or JPJ, and they got to learn a new system, learn the NFL, come up to speed, and go. So, I mean, there's a lot. Dylan Labe, forgot about him, going. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in that offense that is either going to make or break Getsy, if you want to go like that. On top of all this, not to mention, like you said, the chemistry that's got to get made with Minshew. I kind of wish that the decision came after the first preseason game, but exactly. I get he wanted to give everybody a chance. I know he said in his interview after the game, I'm going to sleep on it. It could be a couple of days. And then the next day, early the next day, he came out with his decision. And I can respect that. We were a Team Ramrod on here. We wanted O'Connell, but we always said it doesn't matter. We will support whichever decision was made at QB. And I love it. That's Minshew. He's got our support on the cage match. And I have my theories. The more things have gone on, I have my theories on why maybe Minshew was chosen with these first 4 games being in there. And it might be one of those things where he's just trying to put the best available person in a position to help the team win. And as things go, things can change.
Yeah, and see, that's why, all that attention to the so-called quarterback duel, which one, played better in preseason and earned the job. And nobody was paying attention to the offense itself. And let me say this, and I want to talk to Devon. We made a very astute comment that the OC had to put an offense together without knowing a starting quarterback. Let me say something about starting quarterbacks a la Joe Gibbs. If your system is right, doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You plug him in, he just has to be competent. He has to know your playbook. He has to be a guy that doesn't make mistakes. He has to have an arm to execute. If the system is correct, if the system is being built for the players and not the players being expected to fit in the system, then you should be able to plug anybody in. Theoretically.
Yeah, and that was basically the situation with the previous regime and McDaniels. You have to fit into his offense because he's been used to having Tom Brady as his quarterback, who I feel Tom Brady was the one that helped write that offense because he's the only one that McDaniels isn't going to say, no, don't do that to. And that's one of the things that when you have a coach that comes in, they do have to find the strengths of these players and utilize those to his offense. But I see what you're saying. When you have these players, you want to run the offense in your way and your philosophy, but there's like a balance where you have to use your philosophy and what works with their strengths that you have. Devontae Adams had said that when he did the interview with Shannon Sharp, when he said, when McDaniels came in, you didn't pick these guys. You guys picked, for like 20 plus years, you guys had guys that you handpicked so you knew how to teach them. You're coming over here, you're trying to force something that these guys you didn't pick. So, and that's the thing with a new offensive coordinator. He has to work with the players he has now. Eventually, if we stay consistent with the coaches, these players, whether they grow with the offense or new players come in that are more suited for this, it'll get better and better and better. And it's just more about consistency overall than anything else.
But it still starts with a correct offensive system. And let me break it down in case people don't know what an offensive system really consists of.
About to be hard hitting, guys.
Besides game preparation and planning, which is an OC's job, we're talking about play design. Play design means designing things to happen on the field to make what you want to happen. And I'm saying, and I'm going to abbreviate this by just saying, not every offensive coordinator has the chops, has the brains. And Gruden had, okay? He knew how to design plays to make other things happen on the field, to open up routes, to pull coverage from the guy he wanted to catch the ball, to open up holes by dragging tight ends across the middle. All of that takes a level of thinking by an offensive coordinator that, again, it's a lot to ask of a very young guy like Getsy. I'm hoping when you scratch the surface, Asylum, he'll be a baby Dick Vermeil. That just scratch him. Yeah, oh, my goodness, we have a genius.
You can also add to what you're saying there is designing plays based off of the attributes of the players you have, your best attributes that your players have. Design plays that work with them. We got Brock Bowers in there. Let's make plays that utilizes him the best we can. Trey Tucker, looks like something's going on there. All of a sudden, he's catching balls and doing everything, not dropping balls. But utilize Trey Tucker. Utilize Devontae Adams' strengths. Utilize your running back strengths. Utilize the offensive line strengths. If their strength is pulling, then do everything you have to do,
Exactly.
and design the plays to utilize the strengths of the players that you have.
But
And
again,
the players just have to execute.
not every offensive coordinator, as we have already seen, have we learned nothing from McDaniels? They just don't have those kind of minds. It's all about y'all will do what I tell you to do, right? Right, guys? Is that not all we saw under McDaniels?
Yeah,
that's exactly what we saw. My way or the highway, and
I mean, capable of improvising, thinking, expanding on what I did. You're gonna do exactly what I said, and I hope and pray that we have something like you said, Asylum, that keeps in mind not only the idea of multiple levels of thinking offensively and play design, but the players who are going to execute it. What are their best skills?
Yeah, and I think with McDaniels, you have offensive coordinators that can be head coaches, like an Andy Reid. But then you have offensive coordinators that can't handle wearing all the hats, overseeing the whole team, like a Norv Turner. And I felt like McDaniels was just Norv Turner 2.0. 2.0. I'm like he tried with the Vikings. I'm not the Vikings. He tried with the Redskins or Commanders. I'm sorry. And he tried with the Raiders. So I guess that was 2.0, whatever. And McDaniels, he doesn't have that presence like AP. Now AP is not a coordinator. AP was not a coordinator in the NFL level, but AP understood that. And AP understood that. Yeah, like you said, like I'm still new as an NFL coach. I'm gonna get these guys, these coordinators. I'm gonna let Patrick Graham just do what he got to do. Mm-hmm. Let him. That's your defense. This is your defense. You run that the way you feel. And the same thing bringing in Getsy. I'm gonna let you run it because they say that Getsy was a little handcuffed or Eberflus over there in Chicago. So we're gonna see how this goes. And
well, I got another comparison. There's another comparison. Everyone was trying to compare AP to Madden. Madden had Al Davis to be able to lean on, to learn. What did AP do? He brought in Marvin Lewis. He brought in Tom Coughlin. He brought in coaches and shit to be able to lean on and learn. So, that's a smart decision.
I'm praying that Philbin, right? We got Joe Philbin.
Yeah, we got Joe Philbin, yeah.
I mean, he was one of the architects of that, what do they call that? Shotgun or whatever.
The Wildcat?
The Wildcat, right. He was one of the minds. I mean, came up under June Jones. I mean, there's a lot of pedigree on our sideline, but ultimately Getsy's the offensive coordinator. He's going to have his ego, right, invested in his system. And I'm looking at his flexibility, the ability to start designing plays around Minshew, to make things work downfield, to open up holes, to start using that number one pick that everybody groaned about.
They weren't groaning during that first preseason game.
Yeah, well, again, it's how you use them and when you use them. And let's not forget the most important job of the LC, situational play calling. What good does it do to have a playbook and play design sitting there and you don't know when to use them? Or you don't know what defense you need to use them against. What plays will work with which defenses? I mean, there's so many things these guys have to think about. It's strategic, isn't it?
Yeah, and allowing the quarterback to audible out to a better play with the coverage that he sees, with the way the defensive linemen are lined up, for the blocking schemes. That's another thing that McDaniels didn't allow with the quarterbacks this past season. That's what got Carr sent to, eventually sent to the Saints because he wasn't allowed. Yeah, he wasn't allowed to make calls
But yet, when he did audible, who had a hell of a season?
Oh yeah, Josh
I mean,
Jacobs.
and Ray Savage and Silence. Think about the nightmare it must have been for the players to have this guy standing there watching their every move. I told you to run that route, and this is why our man Renfro didn't survive. Okay, I told you to run that route, and I want you 4 inches from the line. So if the quarterback comes to the second check down, you're 4 inches from the 40-yard line. Stuff like that going on. And then, nastiness when you get to the sideline, you didn't do what I told you. What a nightmare for a player that's just trying to do his job. All Renfro want to do is go out there and get open.
Yeah.
And when Renfro was successful, he ran the routes his way. Yes, it was a little unorthodox, but he did get open. He did catch the ball, and he was able to do that. That's when he was successful. His downcline and injuries and all this came under McDaniels because it was my way and my way only.
Yep. And look what happened to Devontae, another guy that runs unconventional routes. Devontae never runs the same route twice. That's the secret. That was the secret. McDaniels took that all away. This is how he punished Devontae. Towards the middle, you started noticing his route started shortening up.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Devontae was catching 5-yard passes, 3-yard passes, 7-yard passes. We had many games, 2 catches for 13 yards. The whole game. I mean, we had 2 games like that from Devontae. That was McDaniels. And even after McDaniels was gone, you still couldn't fix what had happened. That players lost their confidence.
Yeah. And hopefully with the new offensive coordinator that Devontae knows from Green Bay, has familiarity with the type of offense he's going to run because he ran that for 10 years or 9 years before he came into the Raiders. So Devontae could be that coach on the field with the younger receivers that he's playing with. And the guys, because everyone on the team is fairly young on the offensive side of the ball. And Devontae being that, I don't want to say that senior, but that older presence, and then with the offense that he's very familiar with, he could be that coach on the field, and maybe that can also help jumpstart the offense from what it was last year. But Miss Peggy, what do you think of our first-round draft pick?
Well, show me some clips because
yes, it was. My bad.
Y'all know I do not watch preseason at all. It tells me nothing about what's going to happen opening day. Now, that's just my personal opinion, but for entertainment value, especially if you jonesing for football, right? Which many people were, by August, right? They were like, show me anything, show me these JV scrimmages, right? Where nobody shows any real, offense. And like what's going to happen this week against the 49ers, we're not going to see any starters, right?
No. Nope.
Is that? And
no, that's what was reported.
And good news, Raider Nation. I understand that Powers Johnson finally got his red shirt taken off, so he's going to come off the PUP list. I think it happened today.
He's off the PUP list. So is Colton Miller.
Yes.
Right. That's got to be good news for the nation, finally having a starting O-line. Only problem is we got to be patient. These guys haven't played together for any amount of snaps that we can even talk about because most of them been hurt. 2 of them been hurt. They haven't been out there. So, I mean, there's a chemistry that develops between the big guys up front. And it's going to take a little time to get used to, the moves of the guy next to you, right? Am I right, guys? I mean,
yeah.
It's
feet work too. Be tripping over the guy next to you trying to pull. So, yeah, the feet work getting to know how the guy next to you knows how to block. I know that for sure in high school. I had a guy next to me that always got beat inside, and because I was the left tackle and he was the left guard, and made both of us look bad.
But knowing that helps you adjust your game. I mean,
Yep.
to help him out a little bit, because you know, you have to turn your game inside, right? Your feet and your hips have to rotate to always check on him, right? See if his guys, that kind of knowledge of each other. It's going to take about a month. I think until October, till we start getting some chemistry and some rhythm. And oh, by the way, I keep going back to Joe Gibbs. In case people have forgotten, he lost the first 5 games as a head coach. Okay, no one got his offense, and then suddenly the light bulb went on, and the rest is history. But we have to understand, it takes time for players to get up to speed, and all the craziness that happened last year. They kind of have to look over their shoulder and make sure that is this over, right? Can I breathe easily down, go home and know, the coach still gonna be there when I get back? All of that. I'm hopeful for our players that they finally have a chance.
I think we're in a good spot. We know who our coach is. We know he's going to have some time. He's going to get time going. We know the players that were already on the team bought into his philosophy when he took over as interim. They fought for him to get the job. Now that he has the job, they're just continuing to buy in and do what needs to be done, and showing and teaching. All I kept hearing during all this training camp and everything is a lot of these veterans have come up and taken players to the side and coached them up and tried to help them. And that's something that you haven't heard or seen a lot with the Raiders over the last 20 damn years.
Mm-hmm.
It's
really it's a developing chemistry. I mean, what does really make a championship team? Well, it's those little things you just mentioned. The vets looking out for the rookies, giving them tips, the coaches listening to their players. Just a little stuff that goes on the sideline that we kind of hear little stories, but it's a constant thing. There's a constant camaraderie that's going on, and a blending and sharing of information during the game, right? Because I need to know that my guy can beat number 34 in the corner. I mean, we need to know these things during the game, and then the coaches trust their players. Say, okay, let's try to play against them. That makes champions. I think.
Even the simple thing is we had the quarterback fight, okay? And yet we heard from AP, we've heard from each quarterback. It doesn't matter who wins the job. I will support. If I don't have the winning job, I will sit there and support the other guy and help him with everything. So Aiden O'Connell said he would support Minshew and help him. Minshew said the same thing. Those are the little things that I think come from the coach, for one, because it's a winning. That's a winning culture. Yes, we had the we had the battle, the quarterback battle, to see who the starter was. Well, I didn't make it. Doesn't mean I'm mad at him. I'm going to sit back and try to sabotage. No, I'm going to do what it takes to help him out to keep going, and so we could win. Everybody on the team wants to win, and that's, I think, started with AP.
I really think you're right about that, and I'm hoping that team type of atmosphere and chemistry, and no more worrying about the politics of that sideline. That's coach's favorite player, even though he's not doing good, he's still going to play. I got a chance to play. If I do well, I could be. I see Britain is still there fighting for his little spot. I'm hoping the cut down hasn't occurred. When is the cut down date, fellas?
They do one cut down date, and that will be on the 27th, so on Tuesday.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, we're just a week away. and poor little Brittain hasn't been healthy. But I liked the fact that we retain Abdullah. I mean, I feel strong about that. And if Minshew can get a running game going, if you looked at all his Colt game last year, he didn't really start to shine until what's that boy came back from
Taylor.
the holdout. Taylor.
Was it Taylor?
Yes, came back from his holdout, and I mean, he started blasting people from that line of scrimmage. And that's when that Colt offense really started to come together. I mean, you just have to have balance. I'm sorry, but the balance has to be there. And of course, the running game starts with an offensive line. I mean, you can't get away from that. There's no use blaming the runner.
The passing game opens up the run. They got to be all in sync, because if they're not, then they're going to be able to cue in on the one thing that's working and be able to stop it. If you can't, if your wide receivers ain't doing their job, then those linebackers are being able to come in and stop the run. But if the running game's doing their job, then that's going to open up the wide receiver. It's a synergy that you have to have on offense. And if you don't have it, then you end up like we've been for the last 20 years.
And I want to just change the topic just a little bit. Now that we know Minshew's the starter, and I wanted to ask you guys, what are you thinking about the comparisons to Jim Plunkett?
I mean, I see getting drafted by the Patriots, first round overall. Not overall, but he was first round for the Patriots. Coming out of Stanford, he was a Heisman Trophy winner, and he got pummeled in with the Patriots, and he came to the Niners, and they got pummeled with the Niners, and needed a team like the Raiders. And even though he didn't play right away, I think he sat for like a year or so.
Over a year.
Yeah, before Pastorini got his leg broken, I think in that fourth game of the season where he came in, they lost that game, but Al Davis told him, look, it's not about how well you play, it's just that we win. And he took that advice, and history, it's all history. Super Bowl 15, 1980 wild card team. And I see what you're saying, because Journeyman, they compare him also to Minshew to
Gannon.
Rich Gannon.
Mm-hmm.
He even has that little sidearm passes too, like Gannon did. And the facial hair, they compare him to Stabler.
But also comparison to Stabler and Plunkett too, although Plunkett's was quiet risk taker.
Yeah.
Okay? A gambler. And what grandmas always say to you, nothing beats a fail but a try. Okay. The one thing I noticed about Minshew all last year, and even in his time in Jacksonville, he never stopped trying to beat you.
Yeah.
He never stopped. There wasn't, if he was frustrated, it might have shown maybe with guys not being as committed to him as he was to win. But I saw that drive. He kept trying. And even in that game that they, missed the playoffs because somebody called a play with a guy that had never been out there. He hadn't been out there, but he was still trying to make it work, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was even up to that last moment. And the ball was there. I mean, it wasn't there. The guy just, I don't know, maybe I think he turned the wrong way, and then the ball came the other side. That's chemistry. That's just working together. You know that. But I see Minshew as a guy who never gives up, is a risk taker. I like his arm. Been liking his arm. And I think he recognizes defenses. I think he sees
he does, and everyone wants to go and say Trevor Lawrence, is a top tier quarterback. But if you look at the numbers, Gardner Minshew has the same numbers, if not better numbers, than Trevor Lawrence. who beat him out, for that starting job in Jacksonville and going. I just think I agree. He doesn't give up. He's that which is the Raider way is you don't give up. The game's not over until the clock hits 0.
Exactly.
And never go. And that could help or hurt you at times. I mean, we had another guy like that who was the same way in Derek Carr. He never gave up, and he made some mistakes at times. He won us games.
But Derek was always looking over his shoulder because of the kind of defenses that the Raiders saddled him with.
Yep.
Year after year after year, he knew that if he scored, chances are if the game wasn't going to be over, that defense would keep giving up points. Okay, and Minshew has the luxury, we hope, of having a defense that's going to keep it under control. And
if they play anything like they did the second half of the season last year,
he's
got a defense behind him that will be able to,
that
stop.
Just changes the way you look at the game. That changes the kind of risks you take, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you're always afraid that you'll make a mistake, like Carr was, and always afraid that if I score, then the game is not won. I'm still going to have to go back out there and win the game again. And, just a side note, people were talking about Derek Carr didn't have any comeback games last year. Well, he didn't have to come back. You know what I'm saying? Not like he had to hear. He had to win the game at least 3-4 times every day, every game.
Up until he got traded, he was first or second. It was between him and Matthew Stafford with the most comeback years from the time he started till the day he got traded. He had, it was between the two of the most comeback wins out of all quarterbacks. And the only reason you have that stat is because you're put in the situation and being able to enough time and go. But you're right, with the defense, I mean, we could bring up a Miami game, a face mask that turned around and gave them the ball to win a game. We could go back to plenty of games that were lost because of the defense. I mean, the Chiefs game when they had less than a minute to win the game and came back and won the goddamn game.
Right.
Because the defense couldn't stop a cold.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Now we have a situation where we have a defense, we hope, that we can rely upon to really take it to the other side, to even take control of games. We saw them taking control of games, like that Kansas City game. I'm still laughing at that.
I was at that game. I watched that game. I saw it live. I was there.
I mean, that is the level of defense. When you rise to the level where you are in control of the game and you scored all the points. Oh, my God. And you won the game for your team by yourself. That's an elite defense. Now
14 points in 7 seconds.
Now we're looking at the Baltimore Ravens of 2000, right? The Tampa Bay Bucks, pick your year in 99, 2003, 2004. Now you're looking at the Bears of 85. Those were defenses that took control of the game and could score points as well. They could actually win a game for you without your offense, which is what happened in Kansas City, right?
Oh, yeah, that's it. 40 points.
Yeah, y'all gotta love looking at those highlights
in 7 seconds, and then you lean on the run game to just control the clock and keep the opposing quarterback, in this case Patrick Mahomes, on the sideline. That's how you play hard-nosed, old-school Raider football.
And I'm over here taking notes like, which graphics do I need to make next? Best defenses compared to the Raiders. and we did have the graphic with Minshew compared with Lawrence, but I'm trying to find it. And I was looking up.
Yeah, and who, by the way, got a multi-million-dollar raise. But think of the source of who thinks that Trevor can play. It's our old friend Balky. who has destroyed so many teams that he's forgotten.
It's
I
Niner
mean,
week.
oh my
The GM
God.
of the Niners, the Niner week.
And that poor little boy Khan down there actually thinks Balky is his friend. I don't understand. I mean, this is a guy that has 9 lives. I mean, isn't he the one that recommended, yes, we should hire, what's the name of that coach that lasted all of 13 games? The Ohio State guy.
Urban Meyer?
Oh, Urban Meyer.
Yeah. He was the one that told Khan to hire him. Remember? I got good memory, except, these days, sometimes names slip my mind. But I'm just saying, how could you say Lawrence? To me, Lawrence's problem is, well,
staying healthy.
I don't think that's a problem a lot of quarterbacks have. It's something else, and it has to do with, why does he always look like he just smoked a joint?
Well, that's Minshew too.
That's Minshew.
No, but at least Minshew come out there, with some toughness, twinkle toes.
Well, that's
that surfer look and everything, which reminds me of
Sunshine.
Former Raider, huh?
Oh, it was like Sunshine from that. That's what Captain Jack calls him, Sunshine from. Remember the Titans?
No, I was thinking of Marinovich.
Oh yes.
That whole surfer he had to. Let me just go ahead and get this shit done. Let's go.
Yeah, the surfer boy. That's what Trevor Lawrence. And let me also say Trevor Lawrence is a tale of 2 guys. There's really 2 guys in there, right? You take that San Diego, remember that playoff game, right? Wild card playoff game. He throws 4 interceptions in the first half, right? Second half, he's a totally different guy, right? Brings them back, and the Jacksonville Jaguars end up winning by a point, right? But I can't get over, who was that guy out there on the field the first and second quarter? And I think that's the story of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, sometimes you're looking like, who is that guy? Why can't he read the defense? Why can't he see the field? That's because he's over there smoking joints. But anyway, no, I'm telling you, he's a little surfer boy. And
there we go.
You got the right. There you go. They paid him a bunch of money. Does anybody have any numbers of how much the Jaguars? Poor little Con. He's getting conned by a master, Balky. Well, look at where can you see? You can see the fact that Lawrence has started more games.
Yeah.
I don't see anything impressive.
By 1.
I don't see anything impressive in their 1 loss. Do you?
And we had this debate, O'Connell versus Minshew, where Raider Homer, who's in the comments, he was representing Minshew.
$275 million contract.
He was representing Minshew, and he told me to make this graphic because he said that if you look at the overall, because I think Lawrence when he got drafted, he took over Minshew's spot basically with the Jaguars, but Minshew, overall with his career, averages better than Lawrence. And Lawrence got, the contract that Asylum just said, that the numbers and, and him playing in different teams. I mean, I don't know. We can have a guy see that this whole Raider team is full of guys who want to prove themselves. AP, saying that he's somebody who, in a division that has, and I just do still have this graphic, in a division that has all these winning coaches, Andy Reid with 3 rings, Sean Payne with 1 ring. You got Harbaugh, who just won a national championship, took the Niners to the Super Bowl a couple years back, lost to it, or not a couple years, but 3 13 years, 10 years back, lost to his brother with Kaepernick. You know, and then you have AP with he's going into his third year as an NFL coach, so you know he has something to prove. Guys like Getsy, who everyone's writing off because of what happened with him in Chicago with Justin Fields. Everyone's writing him off, so you know he has something to prove. You have Minshew, who has bounced around from the Jaguars to the Falcons to the Eagles to the Colts, now to the Raiders, and he's now named the starting quarterback. He has something to prove. A lot of these guys have something to prove, and maybe with that kind of fire behind him, maybe we can turn some heads because no one's looking at us to do anything. I think we're like top at 6 wins that everyone thinks we're going to make.
As far as the betting, it's 6.5. The betting is 6.5. As far as the experts, they got us either 3rd or 4th in the division, all that other bullshit. But let's go back to the old school Raider way. Every time we have players that have a chip on their shoulder and they come to the Raiders, they've always succeeded.
Exactly. And the other part is, and something, let us take a moment, just a moment, to commiserate with our Bronco fans. They actually think that they have a head coach. They solved their head coach problem, right? They actually think that their quarterback problem is solved, at least in the front office.
Bo Nix?
I got a coworker that he ran up to me the minute he saw it and said, he's number 1. He's all happy. And I'm like, his ass should sit.
Well, he's starting now.
A year or two.
He was named today as a starter.
I know he
for
was.
The Broncos.
And it's all excited and all this shit. And it's like, okay, he's the best of the 3 you got. Let's go with the 3 that you got. You know, you first had Stidham, who's been there the longest. We know how well Stidham plays.
Yeah.
Then you had Zach Wilson, who came from the Jets. Well, we all know how well he played. And then you got Bo Nix as a rookie. That's like saying, that's like saying, you know, your rundown beater is just the best out of my 3 cars I got.
Well, I mean, it's like you're trying to pick a starting quarterback, and instead of a litter with different types of puppies in it, all 3 of them are runts. I keep looking at it, and I'm saying to my poor Bronco fan, my friend, I'm here to tell y'all, your nightmare is not over. Okay, it is not over. You don't have a quarterback. Okay,
they're comparing him to John Elway already. He's the first rookie quarterback to start for the Broncos since John Elway. So he's John Elway.
John Elway. But the Broncos didn't draft John Elway. The Colts did.
Oh, they traded for him, but he's still starting his rookie season. But yeah, still, you know.
Now, seriously, anybody who has looked at the decisions of that Bronco head office, that front office, since Peyton Manning left, let's give him 2016, okay? Anybody looking at, they done been through 12 quarterbacks, 5 head coaches, okay, since 2016. Nobody trusts the decisions that are being made in the Bronco front office, and you're a fool if you do. They still don't have a quarterback. They don't know this yet. They're getting ready to find out. And they didn't really upgrade their receiver core, which was the source of many of those quarterback problems. They still trying to deal with, you know, true number 2s and number 3 receivers as their starters. They never upgraded. Russ was forced to work with Cortland Sutton as his best receiver on the field, right? Having traded away that boy, Noah, what's his name? Fant. Traded him, right? Fant went away. He was forced to deal up. Cortland Sutton is my best receiver.
But now they got Mims. He's the answer to everything.
But Mims.
Wait, did you say Hims?
Mims.
Yes.
Not
Oh,
him.
that you meant like, you know, so they can erect and do something. I thought that's what you meant. My bad.
Played a regular season NFL game. Have you played a game? I mean, I don't understand what people. My poor little Bronco fans, I think I'm gonna have to bring out the Kleenex for them. You know,
I'm gonna bring out the baby blanket and the binky for him because that's where they're still at. They're still
look,
in
I wouldn't trust anything that Bronco front office told me. They're all idiots. Okay, they have proven that they're idiots and they have no judgment. And I think they made another coaching mistake.
Well,
Okay?
I mean, they spent all that draft and money for Russell Wilson, and after 2 years, they sent him to the Steelers.
That was a mistake.
They're paying him to play for the Steelers. That's exactly. They're paying him to play for the Steelers. That's what they're doing.
I mean, here's Sean thinking, let me just blame it all on Russ, since I can't be wrong. He's one of those mini McDaniels. I can't be wrong, right? So let me blame it on Russ. Russ is laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
He had
and the Steelers too. They gave him like a small 1 year deal because the Broncos are paying the rest.
700,000 or some shit like that. He's still collecting millions from the Broncos.
That's why I believe. See, second times around for coaches are very sketchy. Okay, let's think about second time around for Parcells, for Gibbs, for Mike Holmgren. I mean, something just ain't right. That's why Belichick needs to go home and just play golf. Okay, don't worry about it. You set for life. Don't try to come back and do a second time around. Because it never works out. You won your Super Bowl with the guys that you had in New Orleans, and now you're trying to recreate that glory in one of the worst places in the NFL, Denver.
Yeah, and that's
no quarterback.
You have for like a for like a Sean Payton, you have that bar that you have to live up to for what you did with the Saints. Mm-hmm. Are you going to be able to match that bar that you did with the Saints? I'm trying to think of any.
He ended up with Drew Brees. He definitely ain't got no fucking Drew Brees right now.
Well,
no.
Let me tell you, he almost didn't have Drew Brees. If the Chargers had the happy problem of having Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees, he'd have never saw Drew Brees. Okay, he would have never even had an opportunity to get him. He did not draft Drew Brees. Okay? No. See, and that's what I'm saying. Peyton is trying to create in his mind some sort of, imaginary world, where he's in New Orleans again. No, my friend, you're in Denver, and the first blizzard will let you know.
Well, you're in Denver, and it's legal out there, okay? So
exactly. He can have dreams, can he? He can fantasize. I mean, there is no way the Broncos have a shot unless this guy Nix turns out to be a guy that's a quick learner, grasps the game, and the rest of the in an AFC West doesn't murder him the first time they play him.
Now, I wanted to ask this question. Circling back, talking about Chargers quarterbacks. Another guy that was on. I don't know if he was on there at the same time, but I know he was there around the time with Phillip Rivers. But like a guy like Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie was a guy that he'll come in, he'll win you games, but then out of bad luck, the owner tells Wade Phillips, I want to start Rob Johnson because he's healthy and that's the guy we're paying. So guys like I just said his name, like a Doug Flutie or a Fitzpatrick, guys who are gritty and who just want to win, but maybe wasn't in the right situation. Do you see Minshew in that type of class of athlete, of competitor? And do you think with this Raiders team now, with a coach that is allowed to be a coach and is not being told by the owner upstairs to do and start whoever, do you think maybe Minshew can be like from guys like that who never got a chance, who now could take over a team like Gannon did with the Raiders in the early 2000s? He can be that guy for this team of guys who just want to prove it and win?
you've hit the nail on the head when you asked the question because it's an important question. But more, let's think about the wild card here with Minshew. He's never been with a fan base like Raider Nation. And I'm just going to say, and the Raider mystique and the Raider tradition, known internationally. You see silver and black, everybody in the world knows what that is. He's never really been with a team like that. I mean, where has he been? I mean, I think there's something in the Raider mystique that matches Minshew's personality. I don't know about you, Ray the Silent. What are you thinking?
I think he could. I mean, I think the potential's there. Minshew is or was my second choice when it came to free agent quarterbacks. I did want Kirk Cousins at first, but I didn't want him at the price that we paid or that the Falcons paid. So with that going and the Falcons cheating like they did, cost them fucking draft picks and everything. Minshew was my second choice, and it was, and I literally said I thought he could be a great backup, or he could be somebody that O'Connell could sit behind and learn, and be a successful quarterback. I think he has the drive. I think he has the want. He came here because he wanted the chance to be a starter. He didn't care how it ended, but he wanted the chance. And now that he's got it, I think he's going to be the type of person to take full advantage of the situation. And that's what we need. The opportunity. Yeah, the opportunity. And that's what we need. We've done it so many other times we talked about it, Plunkett, Gannon. We've done it a lot. I think there's only been two quarterbacks we've had.
Well, even like George Blanda, even though he wasn't a full-time starter, George Blanda got 5 wins, 5 straight wins. With the Raiders coming in. So, and he was like in his early 40s when he came in. So, or like late 30s, late 30s, early 40s when he came to the Raiders. So, I mean, if you're in the system that can fit towards your strengths and you're with the coaching staff and a team that believes in you, that's all you really need, and
guys, I gotta run. Hold on. I gotta run. Somebody's at my door.
She'll be back. But yeah, to go on, to what she was saying, I wanted him, and it wasn't one of those things where, it's going. I thought the potential was there. I did like him. I did like him with Indy. I did like him early on with Jacksonville, and
let's put it.
The chance is there, and I think.
Go ahead.
And I think he has the chance. It's his chance right now to prove that not only is he better than Trevor Lawrence, better than some of these other people, that he just needed that chance. And right now, he's got the confidence of head coach, the team, and in himself because he won the starting job. AP said he had to beat out O'Connell to get the starting job, and obviously he did. So now he has the confidence, and that's what you need.
There's your tag team right there.
There it is. Guys, I got to run. I'm past my hour, and duty calls. But, of course, we got to do this again. See you in 2 weeks.
Of course. Thank you very much. Let me get my applause.
Thank you. And I'm glad we covered the world, didn't we, with our football talk tonight?
Oh, yeah. See, that's what we missed. We missed you.
All right. Talk to you soon, guys.
All right, I'm going to do the outro like this. Hey, it worked. I got everything like in it, like back to normal. Like, see the StreamYard thing. I'm starting to go next level with this. So
next level. We're in trouble now.
Oh, watch out. All you people who just use regular StreamYard. I use StreamYard and StreamHouse and Stream Street. I don't know. Stream Street.
Stream Corner and Stream Block and everything else in between.
We want to thank Miss Peggy for coming back for our. I mean, we never really had like a break because we don't believe in breaks. Consistency every Wednesday on this show.
Don't take no time off.
We don't take time off. We don't believe because Raider Nation is 24/7. There is no off season when you're part of Raider Nation. And Miss Peggy, who's a very busy person, she found time to come on our show and come back to Peggy's perspective. Last year she was on our show every other week. We'll see how it works with her job because she stopped the world. She stopped her world to be in ours. You see how that sounded sweet, huh?
As she said, she was only supposed to be off for an hour, and she went over. And we appreciate that kind of shit. And just remember, wear your helmet when she's on because she's going to be hard hitting, and you don't want to end up in concussion protocol.
Concussion protocol. All right. So there was a game.
CTE is real.
CTE is not real. There was a game. So there was a preseason game that did happen last Friday. So, and if everyone watched our show last Friday, last Wednesday, you seen that YouTube tried to block us during our live broadcast. So we try to do something different just so you won't get shut down by the man, okay? And we went to the extreme for this.
Something about the man.
Son, you're gonna be in charge of the intro for this, okay? You see it, right?
I got it. I'm ready.
Okay, you do that. I'm gonna do the rest. All right. So we went to the extreme to try to give you highlights. So because it's the extreme, we're gonna call this the X screen. Now there's a filter to this, so it looks kind of cartoonish, kind of video game like, but it is the actual highlights. But like I said, we're trying to stay under the radar. Okay, this is what we do.
And still on because we need to know if we get shut down.
Well, yes, my sister's still on. And but before we do, let's review what is Asylum. What is Raider rule number 1?
Cheating is encouraged.
And what is Raider rule number 2?
Refer back to Raider rule number 1.
Refer back to Raider rule number 1. So this is how we're doing it on the YouTube field. We're gonna do it this way. We're gonna introduce you guys to X screen. Here we go.
What's that 1-5? Lean back, body whack. Give it on the ball. The Raiders, go protect their own. Yeah. Trust yourself. Trust each other. Let's go win, baby. 1, 2, 3, win.
There you go. That's a quarter right there. Breaking it down.
Right there.
All right, these are your highlights from the game against the Cowboys this past Friday. I'm sorry, this past Saturday.
They had a star. They didn't have a star. They had a rating on their helmet.
So you seen? Well, here you go. This is basically about the quarterbacks. To be honest, both quarterbacks didn't look great. Both Minshew and also O'Connell did not look great in this game. Me and Asylum, we were actually texting each other like, what's going on? Did O'Connell win this? Is Minshew like what's going on? So
I
was at the game.
I wish I was at the game. I wish I could be at a game. I haven't been at one since.
Look at that. We're still not shut down.
We even have YouTube as a hater. We've got to be doing stuff right. If we got YouTube as a hater, we got our platform as a hater.
Now, Asylum, I believe you said this before, like last week, that Minshew has been connecting a lot with
Trey Tucker.
With Trey Tucker, so he's gonna
and they've been deep balls and everything, and I think he's trying to get a chemistry there. Obviously, Devontae Adams hasn't been in the game, so it's hard to get a chemistry. Or we don't know what that chemistry is. We don't know if it's going to build in practice. I'm sorry, Trey Tucker. So with Trey Tucker, he seems with that long ball, he seems to be going, and just like Tucker had it with O'Connell during the season last year, seems like Tucker's starting to get that connection with Minshew, and that might be what's helping Minshew and help Minshew win the job.
Yeah, and I mean, you see, he was throwing it to a lot of guys who were covered, and maybe this is just, nerves, rust, whatever. Get this out of your system during the preseason, because Minshew was named starter because of his veteran presence. But like we said, both quarterbacks didn't look all that great. There was a lot of high balls that were thrown to open receivers. And if you look at, I'll put the stats up.
He had a couple balls that should have been intercepted, but they weren't. Minshew seemed to have. I remember there was a play that Trey Tucker ball. He had 2 plays before that were bad plays, but then he made it up with that ball. And so, there is an upside to Minshew here, and we've seen it. It's just we got to take those negatives, and whether it's just play calling because we're trying to keep everything vanilla, or they're just trying too hard because they wanted that starting job, and now that it's over with and we're going to start seeing it more calm. There was a couple of plays they were shown earlier. Minshew ran out of the pocket and threw a ball that the wide receiver had to break up an interception. I'd like to see him run, because he could have got 3 to 4 yards right there. Positive, a positive play instead of a and I wouldn't call it negative, but that would be a pass, a throwaway. But we could have got positive yards, which would have made the next play call something different and going. But we don't know why certain situations happen. I'm not going to sit here and speculate. There was pluses on both sides with the quarterbacks, and there was negatives on both sides with the quarterbacks. I thought it was an even thing, and I'm going to trust AP in this call. He has his reasons. I feel I don't know the reasons, but I have my speculations on the reasons, and I'm going to go with it. And as we said before, I'm going to sit here and support Minshew for the season starting. He's got my support. Let's just go win. Let's go, start the season. As AP said with quarters, let's start the season 4-0.
Yeah, and just like Anna said, and that's what we say, preseason, there's people who are freaking out like, oh man, our offense looks bad and our defense looks bad, and the Raiders went against their second and third string players as we went out there with our starters. Yeah, but we're not out there to win the game. And yeah, okay, we want to win the game, but it doesn't matter. What the coaches were doing out there was putting these players in certain situations, not really caring about down and distance or stuff like that, but just more so to see how are you going to, how you're going to handle having to make a first down on this down or that down.
Yeah. If you go back, what was the last episode? No, 2 episodes ago, when we had John Kingdon on and talking about what you should be watching for, you're looking at the individual efforts between all the players, the quarterback, the wide receiver, the offensive line. You're looking for the individual performances more so. Yes, it's nice to get the win, to put the most points on, everything click, but you're looking at the individual performance more so than anything else. And so, we've gone, I remember times back when we had 4 games in the preseason, we got 4-0 and then fucking stuck up the regular season. I've also seen us go 0-4 and start the season off real strong.
Yeah.
So preseason is what it is. It's getting reps. It's getting, familiarity with the players.
Continuity.
And it's and for some players, it's trying to earn your job.
Alicia success. We were under the radar. There we go. So now we know how to beat Yahoo.
So far.
YouTube.
So far.
So we still got more. Yes.
We got 1 touchdown. We got, a couple more tries to go.
Well, see, basically what we did was no blackout. Basically what we did was we closed off Mount Davis to fix the percentages so we won't have any blackouts for you. Raider Nation. And one of the things that I guess, you have to understand, like you said, maybe if they lose the games in preseason, I'm not saying, go ahead and lose so we can get out of our system, but the things that you didn't do right in the preseason that might have cost us a loss in preseason, those are teachable moments, because they say you learn more in a loss than you do in a win. If you would have won the games, oh yeah, well, we won, da, 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 da. And then that's why a lot of teams start off 0-4, 0-5. The teams that are trying to build that consistency in success, like we are trying to do, like we have been trying to do for the last 20 plus years. So, in this game, you've seen, and I was going to put the stats up, in this game, people are just going off of stats, not even watching the game. But
right?
Yeah, we had we gave up a lot of rushing yards, and that was more so just Trey Lance running around. He came in when we started pulling away our starters, because Cooper Rush was starting that game. Trey Lance came in, I think, in the second quarter and played almost the rest of the way. He put his pinky down. They're talking about you, Asylum.
I know. He's fucking me about the way I drink my beer.
Whoa, bro.
But you know what? Like I put in the comments, when you drink as much as I do, you got to show a little class every once in a while. Otherwise, everyone just thinks you're drunk. So,
but no, see, if you're drinking with a friend, you're not a drunk. You are a social drinker. Everybody else,
man, I'm always a social drinker. Then, hey,
I'm an anti-social drinker by myself. All right, so
I'm anti-social too. So,
so if you've seen the stats, if people who only saw the stats and was all like, "Oh, we suck" or whatever, this and that, like, you got to understand that in preseason, we're not trying to win the preseason bowl. I feel like John Gruden. We're not trying to win the Peach Bowl. We're not trying to win the Cotton Bowl. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. Okay? These games don't matter. And you want to make sure that whatever nuances that they're still trying to fix or still trying to put together or work or whatever it is.
Let's go off the stats and let's look at these stats real quick. Okay? We, total yards, we won that one. Passing yards, we won that one. Rushing yards, yeah, we lost that one. Yards per play, we lost that. First downs, we lost it by 1, but 17 first downs versus 18. Third down efficiency, 7 for 17, 2 for 9. Fourth down, they won that one. Total plays, we had 71 total plays. Sacks allowed, nothing. We only punted 4 times to their 5. Penalty yards, same amount of penalties, but they got more yards per penalty. Yeah. Fumbles lost, none. Now that pick 6 is what hurts the most, but the most important one down here, time of possession. That's what's going to win you fucking games.
And if you have a defense, if you have an offense that can control the clock and the defense that can get that ball back for you, that's a good start for a recipe of winning and success. And if you look at the quarterback comparisons, in a way, it's like this. Okay, this is how I'm seeing it. Like boxing. Okay, O'Connell won the match until that pick 6 knocked him out, knocked him to the ground, because O'Connell was back there. He looked like he was more in control. He looked more poised, and we're gonna show the highlights of each quarterback series. But that pick 6, because they were still kind of close. They were still kind of close overall, according to AP, what the practices and the training camps and the 2 games that were played. But that pick 6, they might not say it, and AP did say it in this press conference when he announced Minshew as a starter, that we're not basing it on just last night's game at the time, the Cowboy game. But
I still think that pick 6 hurt him a lot in the decision.
So with that, do you want to go into the throws of Minshew and O'Connell?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, we don't do the intro for this one because I don't want
the intro to get.
No intro. We're just gonna go. Just gonna go into movie mode right now. Okay, let's go back. Let me take this off first. We're all still learning. This is preseason for us too. Let's go back to the X screen. And we need some music, so I got music ready. Here we go.
You go and do this. You got this. This is your baby right here.
Oh, don't you just miss that music right there. All right. Now you've seen, like I said, this is the first series that Minshew threw. In the beginning, Minshew just looked like he was rusty. He looked kind of bad. He was throwing high passes to receivers. So he started off the game pretty slow. This is where we were just kind of like, okay, what's going on with Minshew? That right there could have been a pick six right there too if the linebacker had any hands. So what we're saying is it was very close. It was very close with this quarterback race. And I'm just waiting for, look at, I love this music, don't you? That's that NFL prime time on ESPN. Chris Berman, boom, 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 boom. I'm just waiting for Sam to come back. But you know, on that first series, let's bring us in. On that first series, you seen that Minshew had a slow start. Minshew had a slow start. It was throwing kind of high to these receivers. So and then we ended with, let's kind of rewind a little bit right there. Let's rewind a little bit right there. Let's rewind a little bit right there. He almost had a pick six right there. If the linebacker had any kind of hands, that could have went to the house. So Asylum, what did you think?
And that head nod, Minshew knew it too. Minshew knew he got lucky right there.
Yes. So let's go into a second series when he came back on the field. Yes, Homer. Nostalgia. So you see, he started off the bat connecting with Trey Tucker deep downfield. And you notice how he can get him deep downfield when he's throwing, when Tucker, and he came from the right to the left. But Tucker's deep passes have been on the left side of the field. So he's connecting with them, and Tucker got that eye surgery. So Tucker he can see everything now.
Well, and I want to say, I'm sure Devontae Adams has that little bit to do with the success of Trey Tucker right now.
Yeah.
And that eye surgery and going, you know. But that was a ball that was short. I mean, you know, there was ups and downs. This game had a lot of ups and downs for both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Receiver, you know, helped out and made him look better at times. You know, that's good pass, leading him going. You know, Tucker, you know, going. There was also another Tucker that ball to Tucker, I'm sure to come up. That was a deep ball that he looked over one shoulder and didn't turn his head in enough time to go. And he didn't track the ball as well, which obviously goes against Minshew on that one, which some stats I don't think should go against quarterbacks, but, you know, it is what it is.
They go to a little screen pass to the tight end. Didn't go anywhere, but that's probably just bad play calling. But like I said, they were just
calling,
calling plays. And everyone said that he only rolls out to his right, but right there he rolled out to his left.
My only knock against Minshew is he likes to roll out too early. That should have been another one that could have been a pick. If he could stay in the pocket a little longer and do his reads before he rolls out, I think will make Minshew dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, and he rolls out just a little early, you know, and then at the times if you're going to roll out and the play's not there, run and get those positive yards.
Okay, here's his fourth and last series right here.
Which was in the second quarter.
Which was going into the second quarter. We were wondering, like, why is Minshew still playing? I thought each quarterback gets a full quarter. Now, this one, I mean, like I said, both quarterbacks did not play this good. Play good at all.
See, right here, that play right there. He never even looked over the other shoulder. Minshew thought one thing, so that was the miscommunication.
And this is right after the muff punt.
You know, which worked the first time they threw it. You know, they did that. So, you know, I like that better, though. He at least stayed in the pocket there longer and still got some positive yards. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see a little bit more out of Minshew.
Yeah.
He didn't roll out right away.
Another failed screen pass. Yeah, so right there, it looked like he tripped the receiver, but
He tripped over the cord of a cordless phone.
Well, okay, grass is dangerous, okay, because Aaron Rodgers tripped over grass, got hurt. Greenlaw from the Niners tripped over the grass and got hurt in the Super Bowl. As long as he didn't get hurt, that's all that matters, okay. So that was the four series that Minshew threw in the game. Now, are we ready for O'Connell's throws?
Let's go to O'Connell.
Let's go back to X screen. Here we go. Oh, no, wait. I got to get my other music. Ready? Here we go.
Now, out of O'Connell, you're going to see a lot better pocket presence because that's the type of quarterback he is. Stay in the pocket, move up, go. But at the same time,
that was a bad throw.
He had bad throws. I don't want to call it bad play calling. He had pressure on him. The offensive line wasn't, by the time O'Connell got in, he's playing with I believe it was even the third stringers. So he had a lot of pressure on him, not making excuses. He just had pressure on him and was forced to throw the ball a little bit earlier and was not able to connect with his receivers and go. But at the same time, right there, good pass. I mean, that, yards short of the first down. Here comes
deep
the deep ball.
Just overthrew him.
Again, that happened. I remember when he was underthrown the deep receiver, there was a way high ball.
Rich Gannon said he should have caught it.
Well, I mean, when I grew up, it was told if it hit the receiver's hands, he should have caught it.
He should have caught it.
I mean, that's just the way it was. But, it just felt like O'Connell was throwing off the back foot a lot more this game than he was in the, the one drive he had in the first game. So, he's got to learn to be able to adjust to that. And if he's got to throw off his back foot, don't loft it, to try to get to that front foot to make the throw. And this is what happens to the second-year quarterback. I mean, remember, last year he was just a rookie. He's going to make those mistakes.
Hold on, let's go back. They got froze for a second. YouTube wasn't ready. Hold on, let's go back to where we were. Okay, there we go. Back to where we're at. They go a little pump fake action right there. Got it to Bryant. Get that first down. They use that Hawkeye technology too.
Hey, at least Bryant didn't get a hospital ball this game.
Ooh, shots fired.
But look, I mean, that's getting the ball to your receiver and let him make the fucking play.
Space Beast is back.
Yeah, and he's bringing up the Chupacabra, and we saw the Chupacabra. we have a nickname. We have somebody on the team who's the Chupacabra. Who is that?
That is Jack Jones, which is no longer in the game right now, but Chupacabra always rules. Got to change the number, though. Don't worry. But, yeah, so O'Connell got that one touchdown throw into Bryant. I'm pretty sure Bryant's all like, thank God it's not a medicine ball. Like you said, I got a touchdown. He had him wide open, let the receiver, the guy on the flat, running it in to the end zone. The only throwing pass of the game, we'll get to that. They tried to go for two. It wasn't open. So trying to go back to the same receiver.
Right there. That was a bad throw.
Here's the series that probably hurt O'Connell to become the starting quarterback going into the season. That
was a good run by Abdullah yards after the catch.
Yeah.
He didn't get tackled and got the positive yards. And that's what you want out of your players, out of your offensive players. Those yards after the catch. That was a bad throw.
But that did get a PI, so we did move up.
Which you want to that's the kind of shit you want to have. You want to be able to see that kind of shit one-on-ones and have a quarterback be able to see and throw into that to get those kind of calls. And you don't see that a lot with Minshew.
Yeah, that was just a low ball. I don't know if that was supposed to be a receiver screen, but the donkey. I keep saying donkeys. The Cowboys, they sniffed that out. Guyton got some action right there. got the first down. O'Connell scrambling, rolling out to his right, sees somebody open. Now, instead of rolling out of bounds, you know, he was put behind the line of scrimmage. He threw that ball away. So that was a good decision for the second-year guy.
That was a good decision there.
That right there is the nail in the coffin, the knockout punch. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It was a pick six. I mean, if it was just an interception, that might have been one thing. But the fact that it was a pick six, I think that's what killed him.
Yeah, kilt. With a T. Kilt.
With a, you know, just like Axe. I asked the quarterback to do better, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, so that right there was X. Hold on. Oh, wait. Let's relax. Okay, that was X screen. Let us know what you guys think about that. Is this pixel the point of view?
I got the glass with all the X's in it. That's what I got. I don't got bars. I got the glass with all the X's in it.
See, Space Beast, we're trying to stay under the YouTube radar by making it look like it's Tecmo Bowl. Okay, so we're trying to give you that Nintendo feel with the, as Raider Homer said earlier, that nostalgia with the NFL primetime music.
And look, we won again. We didn't get shut down again.
Woo, see, I told you, YouTube. I told you, YouTube. You wasn't going to stop me, YouTube. You want to go and block me out? It's preseason, okay? You showed your hand too early, and I figured out a way to beat you. So don't mess with me, YouTube. X screen is a winner. Now, maybe next week I'll take the filter off and see what happens. Because it's...
Oh, but keep it on the X screen, though, right?
We're going to do X screen when we have to do highlights and break down actual film, because they didn't give out... The NFL website or the NFL app did not give out the all 22, so I couldn't use the all 22, which YouTube does not block because it's not broadcast through, you know, guys.
I'm trying to show ages here.
90s cable TV call, yes.
Still probably were born in the 90s, so you know
this is Black Box. If you remember the Black Box trying to get around the system, getting free pay-per-view, getting free all cable, getting free porn.
There's the free porn, free HBO.
No, I didn't say porn. I said free proactive National Geographic nature version. Hey, you know, when you watch Know Your History, there you go. When you watch a lot of Scramble Vision, okay, it's like when you watch, you know, in The Matrix, when they can see all the numbers and the guy can read, oh, Neo is fighting 18 agents. I'm all like, oh, I can see a nipple. Okay, I'm showing too much. I'm talking too much right now. I'm talking too much. All right. Oh, sorry. 976. All right, that's your. I guess that's your. Your light.
You way to spell my fucking name, apparently.
Well, no. You don't get it. That's the after hours. The hotline. That's the. So that is X screen. Oh, sorry. See, you're in charge of the. I'll have you in charge of that. Before the Black Box. That's how it was, because cable was expensive.
I remember the fucking having to get up and be the fucking remote. I remember those.
So that is X only, and I call it X screen. So that means it's not triple X screen. Okay, it's not triple X screen. Okay,
that though.
I know. After midnight special. Okay, this is Cinemax after 11 p.m. No. Alicia with the face palm. Secrets of the other room. So
the shit you didn't want to know.
This is X Screen. We're gonna bring you an X Screen for this season now that we tested out there in preseason, and YouTube didn't stop it. So let's we're squirrel getting off the rails right now. All right,
no, we're not bringing him out yet.
Hey, my TV used to be made of wood and lived on the floor. Okay, you want HD TV?
You talk about that. I remember you said Those console TVs, I used to have to deliver those motherfuckers, take them up 3 flights of goddamn stairs, weighing 300 goddamn pounds. It was only 27 inches.
No. My godfather had the big box screen that was also a piece of furniture.
Yeah,
you had all the pictures and candles and everything on top. With the Direct TV, the old school Direct TV that didn't work if there was a rainstorm. He had the surround sound that was a record player, a tape player.
That was like a mile big. The satellite dish in your backyard that was like a mile big just to get the signal.
Yeah, what was that? What was that movie? Tune In? Was that movie where they had that giant satellite dish where they got stuck into the satellite through the TV? I think that was what's his name from Three's Company, the one that passed away, the dude. Wasn't he in that movie? Wasn't John Ritter one of the dads, or am I getting confused with a movie? I don't know, but you remember that movie?
I remember that movie. Laserdisc. I remember when those first came out.
We had Laserdisc. That's how I got into Earth and Fire. My dad would play the Laserdisc of the concert in Oakland from 1981 or 82. And that was every night was every Friday night was Earth and Fire. So we had the Laserdisc. That was the giant DVD player.
That was bigger than a record. That's record size fucking thing.
Yep. And we're trying to bring you back to our last good years, which was the late 90s going into the 2000s, early 2000s. So with the Raider Way, which we used to call the Raider Mystique, with the Attitude, which we've had since John Madden, and even with Tom Flores, who was a more calmer coach, that attitude still lived. And when John Gruden came in those late 90s and 98 to 2001, you brought back that fear. Now we just got to bring that into the stadium of Allegiant, and we're trying to bring you back.
Nightmares.
Huh?
He believed in nightmares.
He believed in nightmares, okay?
I don't believe in
knock on wood if you're with me. I don't want to knock on wood and then the sound goes out because, I got some janky equipment. I'm trying to run it through Temu. That's what we're trying to do over here. So we're trying to bring it back. We're trying to give it that nostalgia flavor because we want to take it back. Take it back to when the Raiders were good. Not the last 20 years because, when I think about the last 20 years, I feel like, do I have dementia? Because I don't want to remember all that. I don't remember all that. You always say, you had season tickets when Jamarcus Russell was the guy they were screaming from the stands, Jamarcus. When Culpepper wasn't throwing good, when Culpepper wasn't all that great, we thought we were going to go in and do some things after that. So
Gronkowski, when we had fucking Aaron Brooks, back when we fucking
hey, speaking of Gronkowski, Minshew's kind of like a Gronkowski, that little smaller quarterback that just tries to find ways to win.
Okay. So now that's 4. He's being compared to too many goddamn quarterbacks.
No mention. When Kerry Collins was the answer. I remember when we got Kerry Collins.
I remember that.
Kerry Collins came in 2004. Tim Brown had just went to the Buccaneers. I believe, Rich Gannon gets hurt in that same game against the Buccaneers. Tim Brown scores his 100th touchdown. Gannon goes head on with Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks. Gannon breaks his neck. Basically, that's his career. He's done. He never played a down after. But Kerry Collins,
imitation of a lawnmower.
Kerry Collins came in. That following year, Callahan gets fired. No. Callahan wasn't on the team anymore. That was Norv Turner. So Norv Turner. Then the following year. I might be getting mixed up with my years. I know. Yeah. Okay. 05, 06. Okay. The following year, we get Randy Moss. So we're thinking, okay, we got Norv Turner supposed to be this offensive guru. Jimmy Johnson told Al Davis to hire Norv Turner because just give him a second chance, Al. He's going to do you wonders. He's an offensive genius. I had him in Dallas. No. Moss comes in. He has a great first game against the Patriots. Then after that, no. Fires Norv Turner, brings in Art Shell because Al Davis felt bad for firing Art Shell in 94 and replaced him with Mike White in the first year.
Like he pulled that trigger a little early.
Yeah. Vince Evans, that's in the LA years. That's going way back. Yeah, Art Shell comes in because Al Davis wanted to give Art Shell a second chance because he felt like you can say he pulled the trigger too early on Art Shell because he replaced him with Mike White. Coming back to Oakland in 95, Mike White was the head coach for those 2 years. Both years were duds in the first years of Oakland. So Art Shell takes over in 2006, 2-14. Moss quits on the team. 2007, the Raiders fire Art Shell, and then they hire Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin did not want to draft Jamarcus Russell. He wanted Megatron, but Al Davis, because of Matt Millen, who was a GM, I'm going through all history right now because it's like yesterday. Matt Millen, who was a GM of the Lions, had the interview. They do that little interview with the players come out in the draft. He interviewed Jamarcus Russell, realized that Jamarcus Russell did not have it all up here. Yeah, I told Al Davis because Matt Millen, drafted by the Raiders, has respect for Al Davis. They had Raiders at number 1. The Detroit Lions had the number 2 pick overall in that draft. Told Al Davis, don't draft Jamarcus Russell because he's not the quarterback or he's not the player that everyone thinks he is. Davis thought it was a tactic. You're trying to trick me? Draft Jamarcus Russell in the first round of the 2007
you got to remember
draft.
Russell, how he saw Jamarcus Russell was a Daryl LaMonica. He wanted another Mad Bomber. Jamarcus Russell was able to throw 60 yards on his knees, whatever the fucking bullshit was, and that's what he was looking for. He was looking for another Daryl LaMonica.
Unfortunately, even though it was projected or it was, that he could throw on his knees, he did the other thing that he does on his knees is he sucked. He sucked for the Raiders.
Go up too.
And he never had accountability when he was a Raiders quarterback. Lane Kiffin gets fired. They promote Tom Cable to be the head coach. Cable, he benches him after I think Jamarcus Russell threw 3 interceptions. One was a pick 6, I believe. I think. So he benches him for Gradkowski. Gradkowski gets the Raiders into a winning streak, but then Gradkowski on the end of that year ends up signing with the Steelers because that's his hometown. He actually beat the Steelers as a Raider, but he goes to the Steelers, ends up retiring after that. Now we finally get rid of Jamarcus Russell, but then we replace him. Actually, yeah, because I skipped over. Aaron Brooks was the quarterback for Art Shell in 2006. Got rid of Kerry Collins. He was done. In 2006 was Aaron Brooks. He gets hurt in the first game of the season against the Chargers on Monday Night Football because I was at that game. And the first play pulled the Aaron Rodgers out for the I think he came in later in the season. Didn't do nothing. Fast forward. Now we have who was a quarterback after Gradkowski because he finally got rid of Jamarcus Russell.
It wasn't McGloin. It was
No, McCown came in the season that Jamarcus Russell held out his rookie year. McCown was pretty decent when he played in the beginning of that season, but because the fans wanted Jamarcus Russell, he got benched. The Raiders ended up signing Culpepper off the streets because he had that shoulder injury also with Miami. So the Raiders signed him off the streets. He was supposed to come in. We were all excited, like, okay, we're going to see that same Vikings magic when he was with the Vikings. We're going to see that same thing. He was a dud. Finally played Jamarcus Russell at the end of 2007. Didn't work out. Both those quarterbacks left. Still stuck with Jamarcus Russell. He lasted, I think, 3 seasons. Cable and Hugh. Hugh was the offensive coordinator going into 2010. He was the offensive coordinator with Cable.
Because he was head coach when Al Davis died.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember.
in NFL history.
Who said it again?
Hugh Jackson had the greatest trade in NFL history.
The greatest trade in NFL history by getting Carson Palmer from the Bengals. Yeah, he sat out. He he want no more of the Bengals. Hugh Jackson, who came from the Bengals organization, got Carson Palmer. I forgot what he gave up, but he gave up a lot. Carson Palmer came in, but he didn't want to start him right away. That next game was against the Chiefs, and we had Kyle Bowler, and we had he came from the Matthew came from the Cardinals. He came from not Cal Berkeley. He came from Stanford, I believe. God, I can't remember his name. But we have both of those guys. They both threw 3 interceptions in that game. They threw in Carson Palmer. He didn't, because he just came in like 3 days before. So Palmer became the starter the next game. We did try to throw in Al Davis's last draft pick, which was Pryor. Woo! Oh, I'm trying to take a breath. I remember all this. Pryor gets hurt in one snap against the Chiefs in that game. We killed in that game because he threw 2 pick sixes, had total of 6 interceptions between three quarterbacks. Cable punch, yeah. Tom Cable punches an assistant coach in the eye. Oh my God! Sorry, Space Beast. Are we done yet? I know we don't want to go down that memory lane. We want to get rid of that. We want to forget all that. But I remember all that. But we're trying to skip past that. Let's go back in time, at least to the Raiders that I was able to watch, because I wasn't old enough to watch, and yeah, wasn't given much of a chance. Prior, his head coach was who was the GM that took over after Al Davis died? Big dude. Raider linebacker. McKenzie took over, hires Dennis Allen, who is now with the Saints.
But McKenzie took us out of fucking salary
cap. Yeah. McKenzie was a good accountant.
You gotta give McKenzie that credit. Out of everything, he's the one who took us out of salary cap hell and started getting us on the right track when it came to money.
McKenzie was a good accountant that he got us back to where we're able to, we're able to spend money, but we're trying to reverse. We're trying to rewind, forget all that happened. Let's try to forget all that happened. Let's try to change history. We're going back to the only era that I know.
Hold on. I remember. You remember?
Yeah, I remember. I wasn't old enough to really drink yet. That's why I still remember. And that's where we're trying to go. We're trying to go back because, and if you remember, going to what Space Beast mentioned again, if you remember, when John Gruden, because John Gruden was inherited, when John Gruden came in '98, he was inherited with number 3. He was a Falcon. He was a Colt. Jeff George. He was inherited with Jeff George. Then he got rid of Jeff George after the '98 season. He went 8-8. Gets Rich Gannon from the Chiefs. The newspaper in the Bay Area said that the Raiders are going to be mediocre because Rich Gannon does not have an arm. He's not that good of a quarterback, because if he was good, he would have been able to keep a starting job because he did well with the Chiefs, but he got benched. He got drafted by the Vikings, I believe. They wanted to make him a DB. He said no. He stayed being a quarterback. He played a few games, but he had to move on. Then after that, he went to the, I want to say he went to the Redskins, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But then he ended up with the Chiefs behind, it was either Drunken Miller or Gerback. No, Gerback came after.
It was Gerback.
Was it Gerback?
Yes.
I believe it was Gerback, yeah. So Gannon left the Chiefs because Even though he won them games, they didn't believe in him.
It was first Minnesota Vikings, second Washington Redskins, then Kansas City, then Oakland.
Oh my God, that's like I'm like I remember, like I'm there. And Gannon comes in, and yeah, the first season, Gannon and Gruden, they went 8-8. But that following year, that was when they got to the championship game. They lost to the Ravens, which I'm still looking for a flag against Saragusa in the end zone when he went and basically put 900 pounds on top of Gannon on his shoulder. And also, remember that flag that they threw on Andre Rison in the back of the end zone? We scored a touchdown on the 2000 defense of the Ravens, and they called the offensive pass interference because he lightly pushed off of the quarterback. We had a touchdown in that game. But took it back, and we remember after that, Shannon Sharp, 88 yards down the middle because I think it was Marquez Pope. It was either Marquez Pope or the other safety. His dad played. It was a running back for the Cowboys. A Hall of Fame running back for the Cowboys. You know, the safety, Anthony Dorsett. Anthony Dorsett. They didn't want to get a flag. I'd rather you take a PI than give up that 88-yard touchdown because that was the difference in that game. Lose the championship game. Following year, we know what happens there. We did slide at the end of that regular season. We had the number one. We were like number one in offense, 2001, but we had injuries. Slid down to like seed number 3, so we lost the bye. Played the Jets at the end of the season, and then played them again at home. In that wild card game, Charlie Gardner came in, replacing the retired Napoleon Kaufman. He had that long run, beats the Jets, go to Foxborough, and in that game, the Raiders they could have played a game in the afternoon, but Robert Kraft decided the NFL asked him, "Do you want to play at night? Do you want to play in the day? Well, there's going to be a snowstorm. Let's play that night." So we had the night game. We all know what happened then. That was a snow game. That was a fumble. Call it an incomplete pass. January 19, 2002. That was when that game happened. We still argue about that game to this day, 20 plus years later. Then, of course, the following year, John Gruden, during the expansion draft, because the NFL welcomed the Texans to, and as an expansion team to the league, during the expansion draft, we get news that morning that Al Davis traded John Gruden to the Buccaneers for 2 number 1 picks, 2 number 2 picks, and $8 million. Tampa Bay gets rid of Tony Dungy. He goes to the Colts. John Gruden, in his I don't want to say a second stint, but as a head coach for a second team that year, a Raider nightmare. We ended up seeing John Gruden after we beat the Titans in that game. That was like a back and forth game until we took it away at the end. I was at that game, the Oakland, championship game in Oakland.
I'm the season ticket holder too. I was there for it all too. Keep going.
And then we end up losing in the Super Bowl. Though we scored first because Charles Woodson gets an interception on the duck ball because I forgot who hit Brad Johnson, but they threw that duck in the air and it just landed in Charles Woodson's hands, and we had good field position. But we all remember that morning, and it's also the only year, which I don't know before then, but it was a long time since before and never happened since, where the Super Bowl was held 1 week after the championship games were played. Eagles were playing against the Buccaneers, and it was a close game, but the Buccaneers took it at the end and beat the Eagles to go to that Super Bowl. We all heard that in the stadium. We were like, oh, okay. And then we beat the Titans. We were like, Chucky Bowl. I'm walking down the steps because I sat up there in Mount Davis when I watched that championship game with my headphones, listening to Greg Papa and Tom Flores trying to see down there in the field these little black dots. These little black dots going against these little white and blue dots down there in the field from Mount Davis. And if you sat in Mount Davis, you remember how steep that was. That's where all the fights happened, was up in Mount Davis, because it was hard for the security guards to climb up that mountain to stop these fights. I was up there for that game. When you had headphones like this with your walkie-talkie, with your Walkman on your belt buckle, trying to put it on 10:50 a.m. You remember that? Take it 10:50 a.m. trying to listen to that game. And after the Super Bowl, we lose, and it's been just a slide downhill into the abyss of the NFL. And we have a chance going into this season. They're writing us off. They're saying, like you said earlier, 6.5 wins, give or take. That's the betting line, 6.5. So, yeah, they're writing us off. They're not letting. They're not. They don't see us going anywhere. We have a quarterback in Minshew who was named the starter a couple of days ago, where they're like, okay, mediocrity, we're just whatever. And then our next option is a second-year man who, is not mobile to run this offense, that Getsy, who also Getsy as an offensive coordinator that they didn't do well in the 2 years he was the offensive coordinator with the Bears, having a elite dynamic quarterback in Justin Fields, who lost the job to Russell Wilson, most likely, with the Steelers, as he got traded to the Steelers. So we'll see. Oh my God. I feel like a Will Ferrell in Old School when they had that debate, and he went off and oh my God, where am I at? I'm blacked out. Okay. Woo!
I remember that car burn. I remember all that shit with the fucking inside with the I remember all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Don't ever question my history. And as real Raiders fans, even if we sucked, we still sold out all those games. We still were there. All these other teams, they want to go and claim nation, Steeler Nation, Patriot Nation, Imitation Nation. The Raider fans were still there every Sunday morning, every Sunday night game, every Monday night game. The Raiders were still there in Oakland. The Raider fans were still there in Oakland, yelling, Raiders, Raiders. And the other team, even when we were not that great, if the team on the field didn't intimidate you, the fans in the stands did. So we have to bring that back to Las Vegas. We have the right coach who believes in that same kind of mentality, because he was there rooting for the team during its ups and downs. And yeah, he played for the Giants and he played for the Redskins, never put on a Raider uniform and went out there in battle, but he understands. He understands what we are missing, what we haven't had in many years. Bringing back that mystique, but he calls it the Raider way. It's the same thing. And we still got one more preseason game left. We're not going to have any starters. I know all you Niner fans out there, Battle of the Bay. You're barely in the Bay too, Niners. You're over there in Great America, and everybody in the Bay Area knows Great America is like on the bottom.
Oh, hold on. They're the Santa Clara Niners. Fuck that bullshit. They're the San Francisco. They're Santa Clara.
Cupertino Niners, okay? That's what Coach Wallace Raider Melt used to call them when we were in high school. Back in high school during the Raiders, my heyday with the Raiders in the early 2000s. Oh, your Cupertino Niners who moved down to Great America, or how the comedian I'm getting his name right now, but how he says over there at Six Flags with your powdered sugar on your shirt, on your jersey, Gary Owens. So
that's Gary Owens.
So what I'm saying is, Raider Nation, yeah, okay. Some of us want a Minshew. Some of us wanted to call him. We wanted to call him. We were team Ramrod. But hey, If Minshew Mania is going to be the one that's going to start out there in the beginning of the game, beginning of the season, then we're going to be behind Minshew Mania, because a true Raider fan only lives by one mantra, and that is just win, baby. Al Davis said those words on our last championship run when we beat the Redskins 38-9 in Super Bowl 18. Just win, baby. So let's just relax. We have a defense that can take care of business. Don't go by these last two games because they're not going to show their hand, okay? Right now, they're just letting them, add more money to the pot. Add more money to the pot. We're playing poker right now. Add more money to the pot. I'm just, check. A little raise, check. They raise putting the starters out there, but check. And then when we play our first game against the Chargers, with the bum foot Herbert, Minshew Mania, brother. So Jim Harbaugh, I ain't afraid of him. He still has to get reacclimated to the NFL. Herbert, he's already coming off injured on a foot, and Asylum can tell you that what's it called, pistachioitis? Whatever it's called.
Joke.
Yeah.
My wife had it. We know Tyree Wilson had it. That shit ain't no joke. He ain't coming back 100%. I guarantee it.
And I'm going off of Anna's last comment, Kay. We have two of the legends on the back of our helmet right now, okay? There it goes. On the back of our helmet, we got Jim Otto sticker and we got Al Davis sticker, okay? Al Davis, the one that allowed the players to be themselves, to be, as John Madden said, if you try to play these players and tell them what to do, they're going to perform like robots. If you just let them do what they do, they're like artists out there in the field. Let them play and win games the way they do. So with Jim Otto in the back of their helmet, playing for his spirit, and Al Davis, Jim Otto being the very first starting center and never missed a game, Alzado, never missed a game, we're keeping that Raider spirit alive. So remember that, everybody. Remember that, okay? Let's go in there with high hopes. Let's not moan and groan for who the quarterback is or who we thought was going to be or whatever, okay? It's a new season. It's a new era. And we have AP who understands as a fan, but learning how to be head coach. He brought his own head coaches to coach him. So we don't have, we have egos and we have alphas, but we don't have people who think they're, we're playing as a team. We're playing as a team. We're trusting each other.
Now, there ain't nobody bigger than the Shield. They're all coming together as a unit, and you're going to see this shit starting week 1. And when you see this unit come down and start balling out, it's going to be fucking amazing. You're just going to see this shit. Smash,
brother. Smash, brother. Got me filled up right now, man. Woo! Woo! Sorry, I didn't mean to take all the airtime, Asylum.
It's all good. I know when to fucking shut the fuck up. Trust me, I know. I let you go because you know what? That shit was fucking beautiful.
And I appreciate everybody that listened to my rant because we're still at 9. We had a good turnout this. It's probably because of Miss Peggy. We had a good turnout this show. And all you Niner fans out there, okay, this ain't a real game, all right? Don't be going out there looking like we're going to go and run 5 quarterbacks, okay? Because we had Niners that came over to want to be Raiders, okay? And I love this right here. Jerry Rice, I know Niner fans, they hated the fact that Jerry Rice was wearing a silver and black jersey out there running routes with Tim Brown. You saw the 2 best receivers in the Bay Area go to a Super Bowl. And I know when Jerry Rice came to the Raiders, he got cornrows. He got all Oakland now. He was like East Bay, baby. So remember that, Niner fans. I know who are watching still, Niner fans. Douglas Sinclair, if you're out there, all right, don't come back next week.
I remember his comment. He said after they win, he wants to come on the show so he can talk some shit.
And I will let him come on the show because we have no a discrimination towards other fans. We love to talk. We love to talk. So let me relax now. Let me breathe. My fan is not working anymore because I'm fired up. I'm fired up for Raider football, right? I'm ready. And maybe when game 1 against the Chargers in LA, our second home, that we won the Super Bowl as the LA Raiders, yeah, they say, well, the Rams won the Super Bowl on their own field. Don't count. Doesn't count. Don't count because you share that same field with the Chargers, okay? And the 14 Charger fans in this whole world, you still got to share with the Chargers. Okay, so it's not your field. You have to share that. We own LA. You go to a game in LA, it's all silver and black Raider fans. All my LA Raiders, stand up. All my Oakland Raiders, stand up. Rejoice in Las Vegas. The new Raider fans in Las Vegas, stand up because we're taking over the West. And all these people over here, all these coaches that they're like, oh, well, you guys got to go against them. Well, you know what? That's cool. Write us off because like we did to the Chiefs on Christmas Day, they didn't take it seriously. And we played Grinch and put coal in their stockings and took a dump underneath their tree. Oh, yeah. That puppet thing, it'll get handled when it gets handled. Okay, that's cool. We'll see. We'll see. That's all I got to say. We'll see on October 27th and November 29th. But first off, let's start off the season. Let's not look ahead. September 8th at the Chargers in LA, our second home. That's going to be blacked out. Don't worry, everybody. Raiders will be fine. This next game, whatever happens, don't worry about it. We didn't play nobody in that game. And the Niners, if they go and try to play our starters and try to do all these stupid little reverses they did the last time we played them in the preseason game, when they had Trey Lance and they had Purdy and they had 18 other quarterbacks trying to do all these stupid things, whatever. That's fine. Have the game because we're looking to the future, and the future is now on September 8th. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Sorry, Asada. Anything? Do you have anything else to say?
No, I think you fucking said it all. I don't think I got anything else to say.
Woo! The Savage Rain.
Other than Raiders.
And you gotta say it like Raiders, not like you gotta say Raiders. You gotta say it loud to let all them walls in the stadium shake. That's what we used to do. Pounding on the side of the wall in the original black hole of Section 105 if you're used to the baseball configuration, on the first base side of the Oakland Coliseum, right over there. Thank you, everybody, for that. And Peggy, I think Peggy got me fired up. That's what happened. Peggy got me fired up. And it's time for Raider football. We still got women preseason game Saturday night. Oh yeah, let me put that graphic up too. Remind everybody, there is a game this Saturday night.
No,
Saturday night.
It's Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry, Friday night, okay? The Friday night special for those going to the game at Allegiant Stadium. I am jealous. But remember, there are Niner fans that are going to be over there, okay? And Anna had posted this on Facebook. If you get into a fight in Allegiant Stadium and they catch you, they ban you from the stadium and the strip for a year. And if you're like, how are they going to do that? They'll put your picture everywhere, okay? They will put your picture everywhere. So don't get baited into whiner, whatever you call it, okay? It is Friday. I'm sorry. I meant to say Friday. Anna. I'm so fired up. I can't read it anymore. So remember, okay, be safe out there this Friday. Don't fall into the hype of these Niner fans talking mess because they can talk about we got 5 rings. We just went to the Super Bowl. And you lost to the team that we beat on Christmas Day, the last team that beat the Chiefs, and you lost to them. Your star linebacker fell off, tripped over the white line, and that was the rest of your season. Thank you very much. Asylum, there you go.
The cordless phone and fucking hurt himself.
Thank you very much. I know, Elise. Anna, number 1 viewer, she'd be like, hold on. It is Friday. I know. My bad, Anna. My bad, Anna. And
I will say that. I agree. Anna is our number 1 viewer. She's here. She's been here for every episode, just like me.
And that's how we do it in Raider Nation. All right. We hit we're at 208. So, and we got a lot of viewers. I appreciate it. We appreciate it here at this cage match. If you're watching on, let me look right now. If you're watching on Asylum, you got a viewer on your Facebook page, make sure you go to the Cage Match Show on YouTube and like, share, subscribe, because we're the little show that could. Even though we don't get all the subscribers, we just love to entertain. Yeah, we just love to entertain, but we make sure we bring the facts, and we allow.
We make up for it. We get a lot of viewers after the live show.
Yes.
That's where we get our viewers.
So make sure you go there and subscribe if you love what we do. And like you said, the X screen is a new thing that we're trying to bring to stay under the radar of YouTube, because we are fighting a good fight like Al Davis used to do when the NFL tried to go and take him on. Huh?
You got a viewer now too.
Hey, I do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do, huh? Hey, Raider Savage. Go to YouTube and like the show, The Cage Match Show on YouTube. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, get the notifications when we come on the air. And I do want to give a shout out to the little show that could. That's what we are. I do want to give a shout out. Speaking of Raider Homer, I want to give a shout out to Raider Homer's been in the comments. Go to his page, Section 105 Media Network on YouTube, or his page, but his channel. Go there, subscribe. They have their show, him and Raider Will. They have their show called Sideline to Sideline. They break down plays. They go in depth with the team. For those who are just, Raider fans, like who love that kind of stat junkie, football junkie formations and all that, go to there. And also to Devon, I almost said Devontae, to Devon, because Devontae Adams. To Devon, go to his page on YouTube. Oh, wait, go back. What happened? Go to Devon's page on YouTube, Chalk Talk with Coach D. On game days, he goes live. So if you're at home and you got the TV on, mute the TV, go to YouTube, watch his show, because him and his father, they break down the game during the game. So make sure you go there. Devon Johnson's been a big supporter from the beginning. So make sure you go there.
He's actually been on the show too.
He's been on the show. Exactly. So I'm over here. I'm sweating, man. I feel like I'm at the game right now. All right. So Asylum. I gotta bring it down.
Ooh, just breathe.
Just breathe. Any last words, Asylum? Anything that we want to share or anything else?
No, like I said, I think you said it fucking all. I mean, I don't know how I can even add to that shit. You kind of took over, and more power to you, bro.
Sorry, I just was look at that. Just subscribe. You better subscribe.
You allowed me to talk a lot, so I allowed you to talk this time. It's all allowed.
The allowance is mutual. All right. Well, Raider Nation. Wow, I don't know what came over me, but Raider Nation, I thank you. Thank you for watching, and we average around 10 viewers. I love it. You came on for Miss Peggy. If the schedule still stays the same, she'll be on every other week, but we will let you know.
In 2 weeks. So that means, let's see, we got this game. Should be on for the break before the start of the regular season.
The nostalgia is real with the little box TV and the DVD or CD, whatever. All right, yeah, everything got replaced by phones. I used to have a little mini TV. The black and white ones was clearer than the color ones.
No, that
the little mini ones.
I had that one like in the bigger version.
All right, then, Asylum. Thank you for everybody for watching. Thank you again, Miss Peggy, for blessing us with your presence. It's been a long time and we missed you. And as you can see, the viewers and the fans missed you. Thank you, Alicia, for always coming on and being.
Everybody knows what that is.
Pencil and a tape. Make sure you get that film back up. Got caught in the. Thank you, Alicia, for being our YouTube field reporter, letting us know that we got under the radar. Appreciate that very much. And for Anna, also keeping her streak alive. Asylum been on every single show so far, keeping his streak alive. So we'll be back next week on Wednesday to talk about what happened in the Niner game, the Raider Niner game, because, you know, I'm pretty sure the Niners are trying to run up the score. That's what they want to do. That's fine. Whatever. Go ahead and have it. Whatever. It's kind of like if you want to lose your virginity, do it with your cousin, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Live your life. So, they do have a win in the preseason, so whatever. I don't care. So with that said, we end every show like we always do with the, maybe I got channel from Coach Wallace, Raider Milt. So with that said, we end the show like we always do with a word from Raider Milt. But before that, I'm going to say thank you, everybody. Thank you, Raider Nation, for tuning in. And we appreciate you for appreciating X Screen. We love it. All right, Saddam, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight. Again, I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.